Yeah, and that is definitely not the whole peloton complete either. It's very much a reduced peloton today. We're going to see some big gaps once again. With about 60k to go, we already saw riders from the Saudi Arabian national team off the back and being tracked by our broom wagon. It's going to be a tough day for some of these riders, actually, I think, to stay inside the time limit, particularly considering how fast it is towards the end. This is the shot tracking alongside what is now our leading peloton. Dylan Groenewegen, our race leader there in the green race leader's jersey of the Saudi Tour, ready. We know the kind of form he's in. He was gapping the riders in that finishing sprint yesterday, but Dusan Rajovic came with so much speed so late on yesterday. So exciting, the Serbian national road race champion. He's wearing that red jersey today, but we've seen him, as Robbie said, having to do work for Santiago Buitrago to bring him back in. Buitrago is back in the fold, as are most of the Bahrain Victorious team, who were distanced into that second group. They're back together. We're presuming, I mean, having said that, Robbie, we are presuming they're back together because we haven't seen them all yet. There's the number one, right in the middle of our shot, so he is there. And we have one lone leader. He's just hanging out there, Matthias Norsgaard. And is he being allowed to fry here a bit, Robbie? Is there a bit of leave him dangling?
I don't know if the thought is let's just leave him dangle. I think they're just trying to be conservative with their expenditure of energy. I said that Jaco Alula had put Lucas Pustelberger on the front, a man who's a new addition to the team this year. He's come across from Bora Hansgrohe, so he was doing a bit of the chasing, but also the UAE team were contributing at the front as well, but the gap is growing. He's out to 13 seconds in front. So although he's edging his way further in front at the moment, it is mainly into a headwind, and so many teams and riders wanting to just save their energy, waiting for that final right-hand turn. And when the crosswind kicks into the finish, they are going to be motoring and they'll pull him back. In fact, the fight for that corner will already take some seconds off him. So Norsgaard is already coming back towards the peloton.
Lucas Postelberger, we're looking at here, the Jaco Alula rider in the blue and white, who's already done some long turns in there as well, and that is that's not Rajovic who's just swung off, is it? It is Rajovic. Rajovic has gone from the back. He's just done it. He's done, Robbie. He's done. He's got anything left by the looks of it, Rajovic. So yesterday's second place finisher, the man who's looking after that red jersey for Dylan Groenewegen, is gone, sat up fully.
Yeah, well, that's understandable after the amount of work that he had to do in that chase group. We saw him at the back of that group when he'd done this just monster turns that he was doing. And, I mean, he's largely responsible for getting Buitrago back into the race for GC. So, you know, he'll have Buitrago have a lot to thank Rajovic for at the end of today, giving up his own chances. But that's one less sprinter to be at the pointy end, taking on Groenewegen, but also do not forget the man who was third yesterday, Max Walscheid. He's been active today in the intermediate sprints. He's been sharpening up those sprinters' legs, and you'll like what he's getting here, a flat run in, crosswinds, high power output for a long period before the sprint starts. But it's about who can get organised the best, who can get their team up to the front at the right time, a little bit over to the side, put everybody else under pressure and make sure everybody is working hard. Even if you're riding on the front, you'll be inflicting a lot of pain behind.
These are the last 4 kilometres of stage 2 of the Saudi Tour between Winter Park and Shal Al Silyat Rocks, the longest stage of the 5-day stage race in the third edition of this great Saudi Arabian national tour this week. My name's Jez Cox and I've got Robbie McEwen with us, and we are building towards seeing whether, I'm going to say it, Matthias Norsgaard can hang out there, because he is hanging out there, the big Danish powerhouse. He's off the front, the 25-year-old national time trial champion, and escaping them for the moment. Pascal Ackermann, though, unfortunately, is out the back, Robbie.
Yeah, well, he made his way back on with that second group. We know yesterday he was ill. He was ill the night before the race started. Yesterday really suffered. Today a little bit better, but it seems he's still not quite recovered. So he's gone out the back. So another sprinter left. So we've got Rajovic has gone. Ackermann has dropped out the back, but still plenty of firepower left in what is now what is left of the peloton at the front of the race. And there's Dylan Groenewegen over on the right-hand side of the road in the green jersey, just cruising on the wheel of his teammates. Got another one coming up from the back to make the contribution. And what they really have to do, Jaco Alula, is not get complacent after yesterday and think everybody's just going to let us do what we want to do and we'll get a free run. They need to stay concentrated and act like they just haven't even won one yet.
No, and by the looks of it there as well, Groenewegen has a sweeper. He's got one rider on his back wheel. I'm guessing, Robbie, that would be something they'd like to protect, to keep his back wheel clear of potential Case Bols and others who might be looking to sit on it and try and pop off.
Or quite possibly, or just making sure that Dylan stays just that little bit closer to the front and have a rider behind him. If something goes wrong, they can swing around, bring him back into position and find his way. And they definitely don't want him to get caught too far back, and I think that's the idea of having someone behind him, that he just rides a little bit further up in the order for the moment until it is the time to go and form that sprint train and really pull him all the way into the finish. And then you'll see that rider get back up in front.
I'm sure all of you watching at home will be saying this. Come on, Mateus, what a ride by him. This is a great late attack. The sort of thing I want to champion and I want to see more often, Robbie. It's always good to see a rider who is not content to sit back and just let the sprint happen in the way we think it would. And this is a great ride by him. He is going to be reeled in, though, by the looks of it, but it's so close. 2K to go.
Yep, 2K to go, just 4 seconds, so they're coming up on him. But it's something we really don't see often. Well, we saw it last week for the first time I've seen it in I don't know how long, with Quinn Simmons. Sorry for anyone who hasn't watched the replays yet, but you should have already. There you go, I said it. It's not a spoiler, it's just what happened. But Simmons did it, he held off the sprinting pack, but Norsgaard, he will not today because they already have him. Jaco Alula on the front, and they're just feathering it at the moment, not going full gas, waiting for Groenewegen and the rest of the team to just get themselves in position before they really go with everything. There's Felix Engelhardt on the front there.
Astana up in good numbers, Robbie, as well, by the looks of it. And Case Bol is tucked in on the back of them. He's up alongside Dylan Groenewegen there in that green leader's jersey as well.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see a lot of riders looking to Groenewegen and trying to get that wheel because they know it was so dominant yesterday. There'll be some that are just trying to follow that wheel, put themselves in position, and others that'll just try and dominate and see if they can get Groenewegen a little bit caught out. So Astana, Kazakhstan there in the middle with Case Bol. He's the man right next to Groenewegen at the moment. Oh, just sliding through the middle. Another one of the Jaco Alula riders, and that was Mezgec himself. So Mezgec has got himself up and where he needs to be, talking to Groenewegen now. Head to the side, little chat. Told wait for it, don't go quite yet. Now they're just cruising up and tracking the rest, and now they're going to make their own run down the right-hand side.
Here they go, the Australian team in blue and white. This is the shot from the actual finish line as well. You can see Groenewegen very clear. They're getting pushed so hard. In fact, I think we can see Case Bol just surfing the very edge of the road there. He is up alongside him. He's got Jonathan Milan, who's got on the back wheel. Milan is on the back wheel of Groenewegen. Everything so far has gone perfectly for Jaco Alula. And this is the moment at which they've got to deliver Dylan Groenewegen. We're inside the final 500 metres here. And down
Watch
to
the barriers.
Oh, it's so close to them as well. Mezgec once again is the final man by the looks of it, the final man to drop him off. Luka Mezgec is going to go as long as he can, but Case Bol's gone early. Case Bol kicks early and he's got alongside him. Jonathan Milan is giving him a right run for his money here. What has Dylan Groenewegen got left? Milan has opened for the line. Jonathan Milan, what a finish by him, but Groenewegen just on the dip. I think, Robbie, I think Dylan Groenewegen's got that, but we're going to have to look at the side-on shot, I think. Wow, what a sprint by Jonathan Milan.
That was an incredible acceleration by Jonathan Milan. He waited and waited in the wheel. Case Bol started to open up early, but Milan, what an acceleration. And Groenewegen, he picked up the wheel, but Milan, he just was not dying at all in that sprint, and neither of them willing to claim it. We've got the helicopter on Milan. We'll get another look from overhead. So on the lead out there was Elmar Randers, and then Luka Mezgec, Groenewegen, Milan, Case Bol. And for mine, Groenewegen looked like he was just maybe starting to labour a tiny bit. It was a long lead out too for the Jaco Alula team. So they come through 300 to go. Case Bol, he opens up. and then the acceleration comes. So he lures Milan to go. Groenewegen goes to go up the inside, but Milan got the jump. So Groenewegen had to just ease off, settle back into the wheel, 150 metres to go. And Milan, you would think going from that far, he was going to start to tie up. Here comes the acceleration from Groenewegen, but he's running out of road. He swings out to the left, and he's just not getting over the top. It's Milan.
You think... Oh, yeah, oh, here we go. Oh. Let's watch it. Let's see. My giddy gosh, that's close.
Clearly.
Yes, you're right. I think, yeah, you're right, Robbie. You're right. It was an uphill. It was slightly uphill drag, or at least it looked uphill, but maybe that's how tired they are after that stage. Case Bowl went early as well, didn't he?
He swung out early, and that was the moment that Milan reacted, and he came out and over the top, and it was actually a really good timing of him to get over the top of the Jayco Alula train, swing back into the right, and it sort of closed Groenewegen in, and he had to pick up the wheel and then try and re-accelerate. But Milan, look at that determination. It was, for a long time, looking like disaster for Bahrain Victorious with Buitrago out the back. And in the end, they've got Buitrago back.